Her Majesty Queen Elizabeth II had a lifelong love of the countryside. She was born in Mayfair, but she told a friend if she hadn't been Queen, she would have loved to have lived in the Forest of Bowland in Lancashire. From childhood, she was immersed in shooting sports and has always had a particular affinity with horses and dogs.
It is a very, very sad time and one that we will all remember. And on behalf of BASC, I would wish to extend my deepest condolences to all members of the royal family. Two notable times that I met Her Majesty. One was during a state visit to Germany when I was still serving a few years ago, and the other when I was lucky enough to be invited to lunch with Her Majesty and a very small group, again about 3-4 years ago. On both occasions, she was just extremely impressive and great fun to be around. And she always hugely impressed me with her depth of knowledge, her interest, her sense of humour, and her absolute love of the countryside and all things to do with the countryside and those who live and work in it.
Charlie heard the sad news when he was on his way back from shooting.
The Queen really was an extraordinary monarch for being able to be Queen of so many different segments of society. But she really had a very special place in her heart for people in the British countryside. You really had to look at the delight on her face when she was at horse shows or country events, and a famous headscarf on her head. And we know she loved picking up at Sandringham. She will be fondly remembered, greatly missed by people in the countryside. They feel she was their Queen.
Sandringham and Balmoral are both set up as sporting estates. She used to accompany shooting parties and loved to see the working dogs in action. Princess Elizabeth even reportedly sent her corgis to pick up downed game. As Queen, she developed a passion for gun dogs. She started with black labs, snare and sabre in the early 1960s. Her Majesty went on to begin a programme of breeding and producing her own gun dogs. She hired trainer Bill Meldrum from Scotland to oversee the kennels at Sandringham. Many of the dogs became field trial champions. The Sandringham Labrador became a famous breeding line. The Queen's most celebrated dog was field trial champion Sandringham Sydney, 3-time winner at the Game Fair. She also bred, trained and worked Cocker Spaniels. Throughout her life, the Queen continued to work her dogs.
Well, she loved her gun dogs. She loved working her gun dogs. She loved entering them into field trial championships. And indeed, her latest success was this year.
A 4-year-old Cocker Spaniel called Lizzie, named after herself. It won the 91st Kennel Club Cocker Spaniel Championship under her official name of Wolferton Drama, seeing off 38 competitors to take the top spot. Ian Openshaw of Ritex Spaniels trained the dog. The Queen was fascinated by breeding, everything from horses to racing pigeons. Charity was also close to the Queen's heart. She was patron of more than 500 organisations. She reportedly donated an undisclosed sum to the Gamekeepers Welfare Trust. In 2016, she adopted a 12-year-old corgi, Whisper, after the death of one of her gamekeepers at Sandringham.
As with everyone in the United Kingdom, we have lost a passionate, vibrant monarch who loves her country, loved her people, and set a great example to us all of what service meant. She was truly inspirational.
Her Majesty spent her last summer at Balmoral in Scotland.
I think if she felt most at home at Balmoral, which is where she spent her summers, I don't think she would be one to change what she loved. She obviously deeply loved the countryside, deeply loved her time at Balmoral. And, it's rather fitting that she was in a place that she felt comfortable and that she loved.
The 96-year-old monarch will be remembered as the Queen of the countryside.